telling us when we get.
All right. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world, and welcome to another exciting scene in Shadow of the Iron Throne.
Dun, dun, dun.
There we go. We all need to come up with a sound effect for that, for the record. But Lord Caldwin, Lord Dasif has needed to be gently stripped out of their armor just so you can carry them to the towards the triage tent. Their blood is soaking into your clothing. That is an awful lot of blood. At which point their head goes immediately rigid and they start bucking.
Ah, yes. It's a
do you-
devil. Beat him.
Do you have any healing?
Right, this is where it gets fun. I have one healing,
Oh God!
and I order the floor unsubtle. So
Oh.
effectively,
Oh my god.
now
Sorry.
there are two.
Right.
There are two options here. I can either have an automatic fail, or I could roll 2d6 and take the lowest.
Can I please tell you guys a story real quick? It's going to be quite funny and it's absolutely relevant.
I'm gonna go with yes.
Thank you. One time when I was in Scouts, there was a girl doing cartwheels showing off. She rolled over something and hit her spleen on something. She was fine, ran off crying. We assumed she was okay. And then she went fucking blue. Now, apparently it was like she'd ruptured her spleen and like was getting serious internal bleeding. She was all right. She spent a lot of time in hospital. She's fine now. But the purpose of the story is that at this point in time, we called an ambulance and the ambulance rolled up, right? My dad threw her over his shoulder, right? Okay, imagine my dad is almost exactly the same as Graham Newland, but he has less of a beard and more of a goatee. Threw her over his shoulder, like just so think about where the contact is right there on the spleen.
Oh,
and then because he thought it was a head injury, you know, which is logical considering she'd fallen and now she was really ill. Anyway, and now like just fucking, you know, totters over to the ambulance off around the grass and like puts it down. And the way he did it was in such a way that like she slapped her head on the fucking the mat itself, and they just walked off like, "Is that red?" Like that.
But anyway, so Lord Coleman.
But incidentally, on that question of like automatic fail or 2d6 take the lowest, I recommend 2d6 take the lowest.
I'm only suggesting this as an idea because it could be fun.
Okay, roll 2d6 and take the lowest.
Is that red?
Oh, 2.
Okay. The answer is clearly possession.
I knew it.
No.
Am I going to have to roll my will so I don't?
Absolutely. I'm not only fucking with you. You have absolutely no idea what's going on. She starts to bite down on something in her mouth and blood starts to spew out.
That's her tongue.
Shh.
I can work that bit out.
So, in the stands, once again, Maester Julius, like, did you enjoy the tournament, or are you your normal crotchety ancient self?
I'm pretty much not really allowed to participate in these things because Maesters aren't really meant to have money.
No, but
so
you watch, like, as in?
Yes, he'll probably be sat basically the bit, you know, the bit that leads onto and off of the field. Yeah. He's essentially sat on a small folding chair by that area, so he can see what's happening. But more importantly, if someone half dead is being dragged through, he's more rapidly able to get to them because tottering old fool.
All right. So basically, Lord Caldwin, you do not get far enough to the tent. Blood starts spewing. Maester Julius, I will be kind. I will be a merciful god and say that you are in eye shot of this as Lord Ash is convulsing, blood spewing from her mouth, or their mouth rather. My apologies, his mouth. I'm really tired.
Right. Stand up. Totter. Hold the door open. He's going to tell other people hold his door open. Do it.
So, basically, it's just you and Lord Cauldron. Lord Cauldron, you've been instructed to hold her jaw open.
He will do that.
All right, make me an athletics. No, seriously, make me an athletics check.
How you like your fingers?
I was going to say.
This is why Julius isn't doing this.
This is really hard.
Is this
sometimes they have to. Yes, sometimes they have to. It's going to be a difficulty 12. Sometimes they have to shatter the jaw.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So
you are able.
Okay.
You are able to pry it open.
Yep.
Well, you have your injuries, don't you?
I've just walked out the metal. Yeah, that is two injuries. So 11. I don't succeed.
Fuck.
Well, you do. It's just that then they bite down on your hand.
Somebody got an owie.
You will take 2 wounds to your hand as she bites into the flesh.
Evan, how much space is there between the teeth?
Beg your pardon?
How much space is there between the teeth?
Not very much, about an inch.
That's fine. Julius will remove one of his sandals and ram it between her teeth.
Okay. You were able to do so.
Right. Now that he's done that, he's going to just look at Lord Cole and say, if you wouldn't mind extricating yourself.
Be gone.
Okay.
Never mind. There is no. You are out in the middle of a field, Anthony. You cannot carry her.
Oh, Saf's joining me.
Oh no! When he says extricate, he means remove your fingers.
Oh, you are able.
Yeah.
It is very painful. There is a huge bite in your hand that will need stitching.
Even with my gauntlets?
Oh, were you wearing gauntlets?
Yes, I was in full plate.
Yeah, in that case, she'll just have dented them. They'll just have dented the metal.
I imagine that the teeth is not going to be in a particularly good state after this, though.
No, they are made.
Lord Coulter just pulls a tooth out of his gauntlet.
Medieval dentistry.
Oh god, like 5% mortality rate. Like Jesus.
Yep, carry the patient. That's another instruction to one of to Lord Coleman.
Is following this quite strictly until he can order his own men to start doing it.
Right.
You were brought into the triage station. Now, basically, because Anthony, you see the extent of the injuries. The wounds you had stitched closed and the ribs that you have healed have all been irrevocably damaged. Like, this person had broken ribs and competed in this event, competed in the Grand Melee. They also now have a number of very deep puncture wounds and a shattered clavicle, as well as several other perforations, and they appear to be in some kind of internal shock, indicating severe internal bleeding.
All right, quick question, Evan.
Quick answer, Anthony.
I'm aware magic isn't a thing in this system, but you might find this entertaining.
Oh, Christ.
Just in case it works.
Oh,
he's going to, as he's walking, put his hands together and just mumble under his breath the words. It's the stranger who's the god of death, right?
Yeah, the stranger. Well, the stranger is kind of like the god of. He's kind of like the Grim Reaper.
All right. He's just going to mutter under his breath, "Oh, stranger, collector of the dead, hear my plea. Stay the fuck away, at least until tomorrow morning."
Somewhere in the grand cosmos, the stranger contemplates, what the fuck's tomorrow? But basically, you cannot move them very far. So you place them down in the first available bed, which is in a large circular area at the center of the triage tent, where a number of maesters are looking on, going,
Friar Fuck is in attendance, by the way.
Oh, hello.
Did you call him Friar Fuck?
Yes, yeah. He's actually got like athletics 3, endurance 3. He's pretty swole. Like, it's just like even Lord Ulan's maester is big. Like,
right? Yeah.
On a side note, sorry, your name is Safi, isn't it?
Stormlands.
Yeah,
my name is Safi. Yes.
It's nice to meet you. Just I haven't met you before. Hello. Because I'm running this current cluster, so it is very nice to meet you. Okay, so in order to proceed, you are. Yep, Saskia, this is just as bad as you think it is.
Someone fetch the tin snips.
All right.
Oh God, I just remember she's in armor as well.
Yes, hence my use of the phrase "fetch the tin snips."
So you were handed the tin snips, where you cut down through the leather parts of the armor, which are like the joints to the armor, in order to extricate it, to cut it off. This is a slow, laborious, terrible process. And as you do so, you see you peel it back, and just there is a torrent of blood that spills out. Because if anything, the armor was compressing certain wounds.
Ew.
But, so I tell you what, I will say both Anthony and Safi, if you would both like to please make me treat injury checks in order to basically staunch the bleeding for the time being.
1 sec.
You just roll a diagnosis, and it's like you can tell that this person is dying.
Yeah.
So
I might just end up, I don't know, I might just strangle this person if they survive. It's like, better that you die peacefully.
So yeah, if you can guys please roll me a treat injury check to staunch the bleeding.
Right.
You'll basically both be working on one side, so this is going to be really difficult. This is going to be the difficulty of 13.
Slow. Give me a second to thing.
No worries. But yeah,
No,
you roll,
take your time.
like the number of test dice you have, but roll the total plus your specialty dice, and then put D and then the number of specialty dice. So if you got 3 in injury and 3 in specialty dice, roll 6 dice, but then slash roll 3d6, so 6d6. Then put D3 to indicate the amount of specialty dice you got, and that will do it.
I think that prayer to the stranger helped a lot.
Sure.
You'll see how it works.
Evan, that's 28 on one side.
This cost decided to just die on me.
Oh, right.
That's cool. If you want one of us to make the roll for you, buddy.
Yeah, 5 in the medicine and then 3 in treat wounds.
Okay, I'll roll that for you. 2 secs. Okay, so Maester Julius makes this look really easy. His hands are very, very, very deft, even though despite his age, he manages to press down hard on the on 2 of the large gashes before basically pressing cloth into them, basically to staunch the bleeding. It's Maester Sigurd is the other one, isn't it?
Yes, he is having a bit of trouble with Discord at the moment, so I'm just going to roll for him. It's
I already did.
That reminds me, Evan. I also have Miracle Worker. I forgot.
That won't come into effect yet until you actually have to do diagnosing. So Maester Sigurd is not far behind. His hands move deftly and expertly, basically staunching yet more of the wounds. This person is now a patchwork of hilarious amounts of damage. And in order to actually see the extent of the damage, this is the point where the PCs will start to filter in. First to enter will be Ashram. Ashram, you're kind of being led at the moment by one of Lord Gallows' men-at-arms, basically because you've got a rather nasty wound to the head. So you're still locomoting, you can still walk, but you're a bit kind of standing is a thing.
Like the world is spinning a little bit.
So yeah, they'll sit you down after a few minutes, because bear in mind, it's going to take them about 20-25 minutes to snip off of the armor, because it is a laborious process. So Baronon, you will come in, probably being escorted by the Grey Bear himself. He seems like the kind of guy who would take the man he just beat up to the medical unit and then buy him a drink.
Of course I would.
So you guys see a number of maesters, because there are about 3 or 4, desperately trying to get this armor off, but trying to do it in such a way that they don't completely compromise the patient. There's a lot of screaming and half mumbled kind of. Ash, you're really in and out of consciousness, so there's a lot of screaming and there's a lot of flailing. So
Milk
they're
the
having beg your pardon?
And milk of the poppy.
Yeah, so they're basically having to hold you down at the moment because the seizures and the fits that you keep getting keep coming. So at the moment, there are two men holding. There's a man holding down each one of your arms and a man holding down your legs, whilst the maesters are attempting to work.
Get the fuck away from me! I need to fight.
Actually, you know what? You still think you're in the melee.
Someone fetch the rubber mallet.
I hit you so hard. I
will get the rubber mallet.
I hit you so hard. I gave you the black rage.
Yeah. That's actually pretty accurate.
Battle before our Lord Sanguinius! He suffered and died for us! This is the wrong fucking reality. Damn it!
Just Ash like, die, Horus! Oh.
Who the fuck is Horus in this universe?
Me, apparently.
No. Jamie Lannister is totally Sanguinius in a weird way. All right, so Baranon, you are brought in. As I said, very publicly, they are undressing Lord Daesip.
Oh.
Because they need to see to the wounds.
Oh.
Ironically enough,
unfortunately, Lord.
As a Sherlock Holmes story once put it, we're saving her, though it be for the gallows.
Lord Gallo will actually enter himself at this moment, at which point he gestures to Maester Julius to kind of approach him. He's like, come here.
Just sort of like nods pointedly at the fact he's holding this person intact.
He will walk towards you in that case, and he will say, in High Valyrian, I take it now that there's absolutely no chance they won't be compromised.
Replies again in High Valyrian, it's highly unlikely, but if I can avoid it, I'd prefer this one not to die. It looks bad upon me and reflects badly on the house overall.
I understand, however, do not. He looks down at the situation, which I can only describe as a bloody mess. And he says, make sure that your skill is adequate. However, ultimately, do not go out of your way to protect the interests of those whom have, in their own way, made their own bed.
As you wish.
With that, he walks away. And he kind of leans against a pole, one of the tent poles, because you're in a large tent. So, Baranon, do you attempt to do anything?
I need to. I need to distract the other everyone. How do I do that?
I suggested Jester Show.
I would say that your best chance is probably to talk to Lord Gallows and then probably get him to convince my maester to keep his mouth shut as well. They're the only people who are really, really looking at this person in any kind of manner.
There's another group of about 2 or 3 maesters there. There's about 5 of them and all working to snip off the armor at this point, because this is a big ass job. This person is legitimately being held together by chewing gum and prayers.
Okay, so bribery. That's your best bet.
Don't have money.
Maesters are always liable for a good bottle of wine.
Yeah, and might I also point out, you know someone who does, who you are already currently, you could extend the... Just saying.
I need to head to Lord Gallo. I cannot do this on my own. I need to head to my Lord Gallo and see how much more he can extort from us.
When you do that, you'll see Lord Gallo standing next to Lord Uland. He's shaking him by the hand. He says, well done, my lord. Very well shown.
My helmet is actually, it's been removed, but there's actually like half of the the lower gorget is still like welded on where the axe blow from your guy had actually hit the steel portion of the armor and bent it inwards. So yeah, he's crooked his head to one side, but he's he shrugs and goes, I suppose I've earned that wine.
And Sir Baranon. Very good. I have to say that I think that I can safely speak for myself and Lord Uland when I say you exceeded our expectations.
That was a cracking blow.
Thank you. You fought extremely well, Lord Uland. You very much earned your victory.
Thank you. If you'll excuse me, I have a few injuries to deal with myself, but clearly when they're done dealing with, and then he just points in the general direction of Ash, like whatever is going on here. There is like way too much of everything right there for me to like notice anything in particular. And I'm just gonna walk off. Well, obviously I'm gonna give the other two a nod, like my lords, and then leave.
Yes. You look as if you want to speak to me, Mr. Baranon.
The situation over there is deteriorating rather rapidly, I see.
The situation over there is terminal, I fear. After all, through their own stupidity, your relative, and you can see he screws that one in there. There's a as it's twisted. Made their own bed. Ultimately, they must now sleep in it.
Now I need to take a moment to see whether Baranon is that guy and would just... whether he would begin preparing for Ash to take the fall on their own, or whether he'd push to keep her alive. I almost feel like it. If conscience were a thing in this game, I feel like I should roll it.
You're not a paladin.
No, and honor is a drawback in this game.
I'm not very good with the coercion, I don't believe.
Well, you know, you could be convinced to omit the gender of the patient, couldn't you?
I can be.
Hello, everyone.
Hang on. What room is?
Right, let me just mute this.
What room is Scott in? Because I like how you're both on each other's computers now. What is it that he looks at Baranon and he says, "And what is it that you want, Baranon?" You can see, look, he's so calm. He's taken out a nail file and is filing his nails.
Because asshole.
Oh, we're all assholes here. It's fine. Truth be told, I'd want them intact but uncompromised, but that is, as you say, potentially...
Oh, it's entirely doable. But the reason you're here is you want to see if you can get me to act, because if I act, there is weight behind it. But what you're asking yourself is, what is my price?
This does feel like a good time for brass tacks.
Yes. It's rather simple. Your house has a Valerian steel weapon. I want it. I'll make this go away.
Okay.
He extends a hand.
Oof.
I'm going to say think about this because that is seriously weighty.
That's... yes. That is,
I think we found the point at which the question of do I let my family member die has finally been answered.
Yes, I think we have found the price to life.
Oh my god, the angst. Saskia, think about it. The angst you will get to play if you live. The angst!
No! No! Don't give it to him! It's the last thing we have! Don't do it!
You traded the only memento of your house that was left intact for the life of one relative.
He smiles at Baranon and he says, remember, in the event your secret is found out, her winnings at the joust will be annulled. Your family will be made a laughingstock and will be driven from the capital. The fact of the matter is that if this secret comes out, Lord Baranon, or Sir Baranon, your inheritance will be dust.
Grumbling. Did you hear me in Saf's room then?
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh, that is a question. Do you have the influence to lose?
That's
Yeah, but
true.
Bear in mind, in the event that this comes out, Robert will have publicly knighted a woman, and that is something the Faith will flip their shit about.
Right.
I mean, that sounds like a good moment to spend all the rest of my destiny points.
Right. Hang on. So can I just, the way I see it, right, is make Casa a Sukasa. Cersei Lannister is married to that guy, and you like Cersei Lannister. So it is in your interest to maybe not cause Face Militant to Electric Boogaloo. You know, perhaps you may even be rewarded substantially for covering up such a indiscretion by a certain queen.
There is another option.
He smiles, and his hand is still extended to Sir Baranon. That won't make a difference when they open up the motherfucking chest and see boobs.
The way you emphasize the B right now, I just listen here, you boob.
It's a eunuch with tits. Run away!
Oh god! It's just like what they described.
You're right, because we don't have much influence. We have like none.
Yeah, you will get deleted. Like seriously, you'll be demoted to like Land of Night.
We have 6.
I don't actually have the sheet, so I don't actually know what our stats are.
We had 1, and we changed my 5 glory points in influence, so we have 6.
We can give you the sheet, by the way, at some point. I know that Az has it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can look it up if you want.
Do we have a deal, Sir Baranon?
Steal for life.
I was discussing extortion with Safi. What was the deal?
The deal is I get their Valyrian steel weapon.
Oh, actually, you know what? That's kind of worth it, to be honest. I mean, I know it kind of sucks, but like, yo, 2 sets of Valyrian.
It's ironic. If you actually, I'm going to say this for the purposes of Lord Cold or for Liam. Hey, Liam, do you remember how I happened to ask Tobo Mott a very weird question?
Yes.
You'd almost think I was expecting this.
Yes.
Are you right, Evan? Don't lie to me. Are you trying to make Celtigar Swag Castle Mark II?
Yes. My God, I am.
Okay. So let's see. Yeah. They said that's because he'd be happy. Okay, he wouldn't be happy about it. He would let her die if it didn't end the house and destroy their name.
Because that's the thing. Like, even if she dies, you're not paying to preserve her life. You're really paying just to cover up the fact she's a woman.
Preserve my house.
Yeah.
And in which case I think the hand will be shook.
Lord Gallo smiles. He walks forward and he says, I think that this is slightly too public. Wouldn't you agree, Lord? Wouldn't you agree, Maester Julius?
He looks up at you, says in High Valyrian, has he paid a price to hide this?
He nods.
Shouts in common to the other maesters and to anyone nearby listening. Everyone clear the way. We need to get this done more privately.
All right, hang on. I'm actually, to be fair, because I am quasi-running the scene, I'm going to look at Liam or Scott here to give me a DC. Lord Gallo is going to roll I'd say probably it's either a status check. Yeah, he's going to roll a status check to basically be like, I am Lord Ryland Gallo. Do as I say, or I can roll persuasion.
Well, I could be convinced without you even needing to do that.
I would go persuasion with that.
Yeah, no, I'm doing this for the other faceless NPCs I put in the room because I don't want to just say, I say this, because I'm also a player and that would feel like I also have dice that I should roll to do things, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, standard intrigue defense would be like 9 or 10. So roll against that.
I'll
I
use
agree.
his, what specialty would he use? He'll use his. He has 2. I'll use his charm. I think that makes more sense. He's basically saying, "Now, let us have the poor man. Let us give him some privacy." You know.
Mm-hmm. I'll make it seem like his final moments. Good idea.
Yeah, he succeeds by 2 degrees of success. If there, no, 1 degree, 2 degrees. Brains. You said it was 9, so that he just succeeds by 1 degree of success. Now, gentlemen, come now. You, sorry, he points at Sigurd. What? You're Lord Uland's maester, aren't you?
Saf, you muted. I've just realized I've been writing Saf with a double F as well my entire life. Apparently it's a single F. Hang on, let me slap him hard enough to cook a chicken, excuse me.
Leave the poor boy be, Jesus.
By the way, Evan, quick side question. What was the DC on that healing roll earlier? To diagnose the fuckwit?
To diagnose, you haven't actually rolled to diagnose yet. We haven't gotten to that point.
Okay, the triage roll then.
Oh, the triage roll, it was a DC 30 and you got a 28.
DC 30?
13.
No, 13.
But, so he looks at Maester Sigurd and he says, "You're Lord Uland's maester, aren't you?" Vague smile on the face.
Aye.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Lord Ryland Gallo. I would shake your hand, but yours is currently covered in vital fluids.
That would be so.
Very good. Now, I can respect that you came to this patient, and that's entirely fine. I would be very grateful if you would mind seeing to somebody else. After all, this poor individual has been under my maester's care, and he is very particular about it. And seeing as you've been so good with them so far, he writes a little note, little note. And he hands it to the maester, or rather, he will open it in front of the maester so the maester can read it, and before putting it in the maester's on the table for him. It basically says it's a note to the bookmakers for this tournament, and it basically says, "I'm giving a portion of my winnings equal to 2 wealth points to Lord Uland to collect."
Oh, hey.
So I am essentially bribing you to fuck off.
Nice. There we go. Extortion. Wonderful. I love it.
You love it because it benefits you.
Yeah, it's just like, medical ingredients, they cost, I don't know, like 400 gold dragons. What?
Oh. I will do as you say then.
Wonderful. Thank you, Maester Sigurd. He kind of moves his finger. He basically says, "Sir Baranon, and yes, Sir Baranon, will you help me with the stretcher, please?"
Of course.
Yeah, wonderful. Come this way, Maester Julius.
Toddle. They
basically move into a side area, one of the triage rooms. Lord Gallo will say very calmly, "I will expect the weapon to be given to me via dawn tomorrow. If not, well, I don't need to threaten you, Sir Baranon." He pats him on the shoulders and leaves, and he says, "I don't need to threaten my property," before he walks out.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
All right. I'm sorry, that was like one of the Game of Thrones things I've ever done, and it's delicious.
That's fine.
Yes, sweet nephew, you're going to get killed sooner or later.
By the way, is Maya? Should I put the thing in the link for Maya, or is the link not working? Is confused. I put the link in the thing for Maya. Ooh, rather, I put the link to Facebook. That is wrong entirely.
Yeah, she's having a lot of trouble getting in for some reason.
Tell her I'll put the link for her in Discord, and if that makes a difference, I'll put it in the Game of Thrones Discord, and see if she can get in through there. There you go. It's in the Game of Thrones Discord, in the general room. All right. So, Julius, would you like to please make me a diagnose injury roll, please, or diagnose illness, or diagnosis roll?
Okay. Am I right? I need to double check this then, just for a moment, because I think diagnose might be its own specialty.
It is, but I think you have it.
Yes, it is. Now I have treat ailment and treat injury.
Oh.
I'm really good at treating injuries.
In that case, you might want to buy that next downtime.
Yes.
In that case, roll me just your straight medicine.
Okay.
This is going to be difficulty 12.
Difficulty 12. Okay. We shall see if the gods favor you.
Dum-de-dum.
14. That sucked.
You just get it, to be fair. You do get it. All right, so this person is a metaphysical wreck. All right.
By the way, Evan, because of Miracle Worker, I believe this does apply at this point. I get to add my education rank.
Yes.
So technically, the total was 16.
Okay. So Saskia, I would like you to do me a favor. How's it going?
Hi. Well, dying.
Would you like to high or low, Saskia?
Oh Jesus. You're rolling, so I will probably go with high. Then again, it's my luck, so I'll go with high.
Okay. This is to determine how terrible the lasting effect is going to be.
Oh God.
Because I am encouraged to be brutal. The book encourages.
This is fine. This is fine, yo.
You don't need to encourage Evan.
Right. We need to write back to whoever wrote this book. Really, guys, stop the encouragements.
I love you too. I love you too, Scott. For the record, go fuck yourself. All right. So, what is a fair? You didn't get too terrible. So, I'm going to say, whichever hand you do not write with, so not your dominant hand, is going to suffer nerve damage.
Okay.
So it will be practically unusable.
That's cool. I was actually thinking I may if I may make a suggestion, but feel free
you
to
can make a suggestion.
Because Ash is now already suffering from seizures, I'd say just keep that going.
Oh, sure, I can give you epilepsy.
Yeah.
That's a really hard whack.
I believe the phrase "that's whack, yo."
So, with that in mind, Mace Julius, she has a shattered clavicle. She has her ribs have been turned to physical dust. At this point, they've been shattered so badly. Not physical dust, but they've been broken to a near irreparable extent. She has several different fractures. She probably has a skull fracture. That one's going to be fun. And there are deep lacerations all over the body.
Right. First things first, I'm going to be working on the lacerations, because all the fractures and things will need to be set, and that will take time. But the lacerations are going to be leaking, and that's more imminently deadly.
You are correct. All right. So, would you like to make me a treat injury roll? The treat injury roll is going to be difficulty 16. She is effed up always to hell.
Also, I just realized something. Having read through Miracle Worker once more, because I diagnosed her. I'm rolling 10, keep 5. This is going to be fun.
Okay, roll your injury check, please.
Fucking hell. 18 plus 2 because of my education, so that's 20 total.
Barely. You managed to suture close all of the lacerations. It is a long and laborious process. Your hands are stiff and slicked with blood by the time you are done. Now make me a treat injury roll. This one is going to be difficulty 15 to set the broken arm.
Okay, hold on.
Actually, no, it's going to be difficulty 12 to set a broken arm. It's going to be badly broken. That's 29. Okay, the arm is very well repaired. You basically managed to put it on. You basically managed to get it function. Okay, the head wound is going to be the big one. This is going to be difficulty 18 because you are going to have to remove a tiny fragment of bone.
Okay. Apologies if this doesn't work. That's 25.
Okay. Skill hands. You manage to remove, using very slow, deft movements, this tiny shard of bone without causing any more bleeding. This process takes about 5.5 hours of labor. All right, I have to go and get a drink. In the meantime, if people would like to catch up Maya, a whole lot of stuff is happening.
Thank you.
So, Lord Ash was taken in on structure and was briefly being attended to by 5 separate Meisters. Such were the extent of his injuries, as Baranon, and was actually carried in by Lord Coldwin, as alongside Julius, who just managed to catch up. Baranon.
That was nice of Lord Coldwin.
Don't thank me. I was the one who caused it.
I mean, it's a melee. Could have just left her there to die.
True.
I won, by the way.
Who?
No. No member of House Dasip gets to make that comeback.
Okay. I don't know who's speaking. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Nah, it's cool. Let's continue with the actual catch-up, guys.
Baranon walked in of Lord Uland, who then had to have a chat with Lord Gallo, who effectively saved Lord Ash from the wrath of 5 Meisters in exchange for their steel Valyrian weapon.
You know what? It's small price to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baranon also looks like he's about to kill someone. That's
Baranon's regular look. I don't know.
His regular look is disappointed.
Disappointed with a slight bit of "I'm going to stab you" during dinner.
I mean, he might actually do that under his current emotional state.
Do you want to stab Gallo or do you want to stab Ash?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, not even a question.
Yes.
Getting into the real Game of Thrones atmosphere. But yes, that's the current state of the scene. Baranon does not look happy at all. He doesn't look
Ryland did just save your house, though. Like, I know it was kind of an asshole thing to do, but at Lamau, nobody else would have done that.
Nope.
No. That's why small price to pay.
All right. So for those of you who are outside, as I said, this whole process takes Julius about 5.5 hours. It's quite interesting. You basically just see Gallo sitting outside. He looks rather cheerful as he's eating an apple.
Yeah. Graham is also getting drunk.
Basically, it takes them quite a while. They have to essentially saw that particular piece of the courgette off like.
Oh god.
But Lord Gallo will have some good wine brought down for Lord Uland, because Lord Uland just earned him a shitload of money. Yeah.
I like to think it's like that scene from Django Unchained. You know, the bit where like, what was he called? Leonardo DiCaprio walks up to his fighter, like, get this man a beer. You know.
But yes, so if anyone wants to, so at this point in time, I'm gonna say Sarah. Your character name's Sarah, isn't it? Mine or Sarah? Sarah, you were not at the tournament today because it would make sense why it took you so long to get here. You thought Ash was legitimately in bed asleep. Turns out, no. So one of Lord Gallo's men will have in fact run back to his manse and informed you that your brother will probably die tonight.
She would have asked which one.
Lord Dacet, my lady.
In which case she would have ran to the tournament. Or at least hustled her bustle.
The bustle will be hustled. All right, so it realistically would have taken the guy about an hour to get back, about an hour and a half to get through the city, maybe about 2 hours to get back, because obviously now the tournament is letting out, more people are flooding into the town, etc. So, Sarah, you will arrive now. You will step through the door of the triage tent. The sticky, sweet smell of blood is everywhere.
Her eyes will go everywhere looking for one of her brothers, because if one of them is hurt, the other is usually close by.
You see Baranon, who has a bandage around his head.
Baranon, Bear. What happened? He was asleep when I left him. I locked his room.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. He took some armor and a weapon and decided to play hero, and now he might very well die.
Are we going to die? She'll kind of make a side-eye look towards the others, not really at them, but like in their direction.
No.
What? So there.
By the way, I'll point out some things that are important that you guys will have come to realize over the course of the thing. On everyone's lips is the fact that Grey Bear won the melee, and he is being, he's being lauded for his performance. However, Lord Caldwin has also drawn particular favor from the nobles, who see his actions as incredibly chivalrous. So he has gained a lot of respect, which I think is fair.
Yeah. I mean, 200 dragons that were mine disagree, but...
You made a shitload of money. Sit down and shut up.
I did. In fact, I made back the amount of money that you received and gave to the poor off of the entire bets as a bribe. That is all.
To be fair, I actually did 4 wealth points.
Yeah.
But, sorry, continue, Baranon. You were telling a tale.
It's cost us our axe.
Our what?
Would you prefer our good lord still die? I can arrange for that. He says very bitterly.
No, Baranon. No. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know I was in charge of watching him. I didn't think they would climb.
It is at this moment, just a moment, that Maester Julius will walk from inside the triage tent, or inside the area of the triage tent he was working. He is covered in blood. Like,
how bad was Ash?
On a scale of 1 to 10, my lady, I would say dead, but we got lucky.
All too lucky.
And my other brother, Baranon, he's wearing a bandage. Is he...
No, relatively
does he have his same
head
shining
wound.
Personality?
Relatively minor head wound, I understand. Wash his hand in basin.
Okay.
Gallo looks up from he's probably drinking with Lord Uland, and he says, So, Daisip will live.
If the stranger is kind enough to stay away.
It would appear as though they don't need to be on your conscience, Lord Colton.
Glad to hear it.
Lord Caldwell, you saved my brother?
Yes.
Thank you. You didn't have to, but thank you. I hope he honors this life that he has now by fusing those things in his head. Brains, right? What's left of them.
Considering Lord Caldwell spilled approximately half of them on the arena floor, we should see.
Maybe it's just half he needs. Who knows? Too many thoughts in his head of things he needs to do.
If I may make a suggestion, my lady.
Yes.
The next time, if your brother does return to family estates or to House Gallows Manse or wherever for his recuperation, might I recommend you hire a large number of armed guards to lay on him? Otherwise the fool seems intent upon self-murder.
Locked his door 3 times and put the fucking bureau in front of it, and he still got out, so that might be an idea.
Either that or I could always remove his legs, but that's somewhat difficult.
Let's put that on the back burner, but we won't dismiss it, right, Baronon?
Noted.
And I will say, Master Ashram, you did rather well. The youngest Lord of Highgarden dispatched. You should be proud of yourself.
You dispatched Sir Loras?
Hellsmouth.
Very nice.
Thought I would get that smug look out of his face. A lesson.
Nice. I mean, I don't know how you could have missed him. He glows every time he moves. Shining light. Who the fuck is shining armor?
Well, that big piece of metal around him does protect him. Not enough, though, apparently.
Good, good. Baronon, how did you do? Yes. She'll move her hand, wiggle it a little, yes, no.
I did well, all things considered.
Your brother came second.
You came second, Baronon. It's great.
Yes, sadly fell before Lord Greybear Uland, but
considering how big Lord Uland is, I can understand it. No shame in it.
If nothing else, I was happy to fall before him as opposed to anyone else.
Yeah, it's hardly.
Hang on, quick question. How much in his cups is Lord Uland?
Well, considering he's still living through 3 injuries currently, he's quite drunk. He's just gonna do that thing,
Damn it, my God, phone's really dying. Give me a second. I might have to jump on my computer.
Okay. You remember SpongeBob, where the guy goes and grows a beard? That's what it's going to do to remove injuries.
Is Lord Ash able to be seen, Miss Stuart?
Well, you can certainly look at him. As to whether or not he'll be coherent, that's an entirely different question.
Do you wish to go and see your brothers, or your brother perhaps, Daisips?
Yes. Actually, Maester Julius? Question.
Yes.
If I were to say pummel my brother in the face, would it kill him?
Almost certainly.
Damn. Okay.
I saw the extent of it. He would die.
Could you hold one of my daggers, just please, so I'm not tempted? She'll go to her left leg, kind of dig into her skirt, and pull out a 5-inch knife. Just hold this for me, please.
So who are you giving it to?
She's gonna give it to Maester Julius. She doesn't trust Baronon with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. He was openly gonna say.
He'll take the knife, and you'll notice that he reaches around to his belt, where there's about a half dozen little holders for various types of knife, none of which are currently filled.
My lords,
just slips it in.
My lords, Lord Gallo stands up. Let us give the Daysips their privacy to have the conversation. There's more wine in my tent.
Thank you. BRB, I'm just going to exit out of here and jump on my computer.
No worries.
Lord Coldwin will nod, and as he's walking out, he slaps Uland on the back as he's walking out. I heard you hit Darren so hard. He's been telling me about Joffrey's name day.
You bloody bet.
Says he knows who's going to win the tournament next year.
Oh, aye.
The answer to who's going to win the tournament next year is Lord Tywin, because Robert's going to have to borrow more money to have the tournament next year.
Yes, I do imagine the real winner will be someone else.
By the way, at this point, Lord Grayman, you would probably have gotten a rather strange IOU for money for no real reason.
Yeah, Graham's in a good mood.
Do you question it at all? Is more what I'm curious about.
Look, who am I to kick a gift horse in the mouth? You know, especially a gift horse who I already gave a shitload of wealth to. So
All right. You could actually assume this is Gallo just paying you back for winning.
Possibly.
Seems like something you would do. Let's never mention that fact again.
Oh no. That's
Mr. PP, how did you steer me wrong?
Hello.
Some Romeo and Juliet shit right there.
Yes, we can hear you. So basically, all of the others file out of the tent. The last to leave are Gallo and Maester Julius. Gallo kind of he's still peeling an apple with a knife. He puts an apple segment in his mouth before he chews, and he says, "I was contemplating what is the actual Lord. Oh my God, Liam.
Yes.
Liam. Lord Gallo already has a Valyrian steel weapon. Do you know who doesn't, and who wanted one since time immemorial?
Oh yeah. Nice thinking. But will he want an axe?
You're gonna give the Lannisters an axe.
I've already talked to the only smith in King's Landing who can reforge Valyrian steel, and he said he'll do it for me.
Okay. Were I in Ireland, I would give you a high five.
That was a good idea.
Good thinking.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so you will basically both Baranon at this point the tent has been cleared out. Gallo will say when you are feeling up to it, there's refreshment in his tent. You can bring your brother on the stretcher, and we'll bring him back to the manse. So you guys essentially have your privacy to have a conversation. There is no one there.
It ain't Bright War, but it's better than that.
Actually, Saskia, can you make me, Saskia, sweetheart, can you make me a willpower check, please? Just roll your willpower, see what we get.
Let me check. Willpower. I had notes.
See if you can defend yourself.
There.
No,
no way.
It's more to see how you did there. I'm not going to give you stupidly high DC.
I mean, you don't need to. I really. I don't know what I have to subtract from that.
Oh, you should have just taken off 2 dice.
Oh.
Should have one of the two. So you get 15.
All right. So yeah, you are amazingly lucid. So, Baranon and Sarah will step in.
Can I pretend I'm not, though?
You want a broken rib? Are there any left to break? What's he resting on actually?
Stretcher, I think.
I didn't realize I was muted. Basically, they've set him up on a stretcher, and basically they're on a wooden table with a pillow that's currently with pillows that are propping up his head.
I will say also that given his history of escape, he has with like relative delicacy been tied like just loops and loops and loops of rope, tying him to the table.
Oh, sorry. I should probably mention this as well. there was a change in matchups, just to catch you up. Because Loris was injured, he couldn't participate in the joust up and coming. So therefore, the whole thing's been shuffled around, and the mountain is no longer jousting against Thingy of the Vale, who I forget the name of. You know, the one who dies under suspicious circumstances, the one that was squire to John Aaron, that guy, no longer jousting against the mountain. Therefore, just think about that for a second. The repercussions.
Does that mean that a horse isn't going to die in good circumstances?
Bear in mind, okay, I'm not going to give spoilers, but myself, Scott, and Link are going to have to stand and have a plot meeting about that particular one.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So Baranon and Sarah, you are in the room with Ash. I sense the shouting is bad with her.
Who is incredibly lucid, but will probably be faking it.
All right, Ash, roll your deception.
Okay, sure, why not?
-2 dice, remember.
Of course.
Is it going to be one of those where it's like pretending to be asleep, but you're blatant not?
Yes.
I mean, quite likely, because I can't use my my specialty on this. So I really only have 2 dice for this.
He just walked past me and gave me like an okay hand, like a nice.
I mean, it's still 11.
What are your 2 guys' intrigue defense?
Mine is only 6.
Give me a sec.
1 moment.
And what about Maya's?
Give me a sec. Let me open up my Google Drive because I had to shut down my phone. I have to grab Sarah's.
If you want to be that guy, you can totally pop anointed just to be like, and no.
She's got 4 deception. She's got deception 4.
No. What's your will defense or your intrigue defense?
My intrigue defense. Oh, because I heard deception. My apologies. She's got 3 will. So I guess.
No. It's a sum. Give me just 2 seconds. I'll get you the math.
Awareness, cunning, and status.
Oh, all the way down. Okay. I apologize.
Yeah, awareness. Your awareness plus your cunning plus your status.
Yeah.
Oh, awareness plus my cunning plus my status.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's 8. I don't think she has. Oh, she has got status 2, so she's got 10.
Yeah. So Baranon, would you like to pop anointed?
Yes.
Okay.
Asshole.
You can still try. I encourage you to try.
So
I already am trying.
Maya, you think she's asleep. Baranon, you know that they're not.
Okay. All right.
Would Baranon tell his sister?
He's just going to give her that look and kind of express through his face and a shake of the head as in he's not asleep.
Is there perhaps a basin of water in this room?
Yes, there is.
It's very bloody, but it's a basin of water.
I will come by, dab the basin with tissue or towel in the basin. So pat good brother, dear brother, Lord Daysip in the face. Sweet, sweet brother. Oh, poor thing. Poor stupid thing. You open your eyes. I swear to the gods if you do not.
I
will drown you
Another eye
in the
opens.
water. I will drown you in that bloody basin I got this fucking rag from. Baranon will help me.
You made your point. Sorry.
Your axe is forfeit. Our axe is a forfeit.
My life is saved. But Lord Daysip becoming an issue to your health.
Yeah.
This is the 2nd time in a week you are strapped to a maester's fucking pallet or whatever this is called.
You compromised us twice.
You want to
compromise our safety.
I would just like to take a moment and stop for the game for a second. Just thank House Daisip for producing so much of the good drama that this game has so far produced.
Thank you. Just a group bow.
Lord takes it just there, like my work is here is I haven't done anything.
I live only to serve. What can I say?
I didn't know you were a maester.
But anyway, continue on. This is good shit. They feel betrayed.
Right. Staring at her brother. Do I even want to know what you did to get out of that room? It's a chick question. I want to know.
Well, they didn't clean up the laundry yet, and it wasn't that far away from the ground, so...
You jumped?
No, I climbed out.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You didn't let me finish, but thank you for the information. You climbed out of a window of a 2.5-story room and just plopped yourself into dirty laundry?
Sort of.
Baranon, do you want to take this seat? I think I need to stand up. We're just going to switch. Baranon.
Baranon switches.
Tag teaming her brother in.
I was just hoping to help out with melee.
You embarrassed us!
I did not. I landed a blow. Twice even.
You humiliated us. We had to give up a fucking heirloom for you. Because of your pride and baggage.
That wasn't even yours to start with.
Ooh. Oh.
Sarah gonna go wide-eyed and look between the two of them like, oh no.
Oh no.
No, his hand shoots from its side and it grabs your neck.
Baranon. Maester did not spend 5 hours on them. Stop.
You are here because we allowed you to be here. You were here because I decided to step aside for the good of the house. You do not get to judge me or any of us for what you have put us through.
Baranon, go, please.
You weren't fucking doing anything in the melee, you just stood there. Is that how you're gonna spend your fucking life?
Unlike you, I stood to the end. I
preferred
endured. And you fell. And that is the only thing that mattered.
There are tons of people who are standing up there for their entire lives and not do shit.
But at least they stood.
No, at least they lived. Not that their name will ever be noticed, because they die in the dirt.
And neither will yours, because if you do this again, I will ensure that your name is butchered from our records, butchered from Dragonstone, and you will only be remembered as a fucking stain of how Daisip failed again.
Baranon, let go. You've made your point.
He lets go.
Please. Ash, you are a good lord on the island. You are a great lord on the island. But you're losing your fucking head here. Baranon and I, we are people you're supposed to be responsible for. Your actions reflect us just as our actions reflect you. You rushing in, regardless of safety, endangers us. So many people know your secret now. Our secret. That's our potential death. Baranon gave our axe, what I'm hearing, to make sure that Lord Gallo wouldn't tell the others who the fuck you are.
And we don't have...
Thank you. Say you're not going to do this again. Help us get rid of Lord Ash. We've been so grateful, but right now you're endangering everyone. What do you think they'll do to me and Baranon? after they kill you? What do you think they'll do to our house? Exactly. You're going to your head. You're drowning underwater. Enough is enough. As wonderful as this has been on the island, we're not home anymore. And this needs to stop. If it's best that Lord Aesop be Theranon, then maybe we need to do what's best for the house in this instance, because you are the fucking palate. The second time this week. Bleeding. If Baranon would have actually applied pressure to your fucking throat, he would have shattered you. So please, you need to give up this pride right now. This pride is dangerous. This pride is going to kill us. Stop. Please. Right?
Only because you asked me.
See, that's what scares me. It's because you don't value your own life at this moment. This is self-preservation of a Daesip. It was what happened. The King's Landing getting to your brain, love. Because it's getting to your brain.
Self-preservation got us nowhere. But on the small islands, we're practically fishers. That's it. I wanted us to be bigger.
We
are bigger.
Right.
But without
Got a secret.
tact, you'll be a nothing. You'll be nothing but a pawn that will be moved and discarded.
At best, at worst, we'll all be hanged or torn to shreds. All of the above, maybe.
Fine.
Heal up. If you try and escape, I'm going to have the maester break your legs so badly that you're going to need a chair.
Why do you always need to threaten?
Because you climbed out of a 2.5-story window to sneak to a melee. That's why. You only respond to pain, so I'm trying to help. Okay? So
They're not threats, they're fairly obvious warnings of what has occurred twice in a row.
Sarah's gonna lean over and kind of kiss Ash on the forehead like, mwah! Good brother. Sister. Both. Neither. Yeah, well, we're gonna work on that. I need to buy her clothes. And, shifts, his corsets are just gonna kill you at this point. Don't know if your ribcage can actually handle anything else.
By the way, sorry, Grayman, or Scott, just for my own records, was it 2 weld or 1 weld? Like, wrote down the promissory note. I think it was 2.
Yeah, I think he said 2.
Yeah.
I think it said 2.
Yeah, it was
cool.
2.
I'm just updating my own weld, so yeah, cool, continue.
Okay. Hey, Baranon, how would you like to be Lord Aesop? We've literally no one else. And you're pretty chummy with Lord Gallo. Or at least he didn't immediately kill you.
I mean, even Ash will start to laugh when it's gonna hurt him, but oi. It's not a pleasant laugh, though.
Chummy, he hasn't immediately killed you.
It's because he's the one
of us
that owes him a fucking I don't care what.
Well,
Even before this all started.
Fabulous. How much do you owe him?
That's a good question. How much do I owe him?
He sponsored you for knighthood, and probably knighted you. So I mean, you owe him, well, as of now, not necessarily a huge amount of money. You owe him a lot of favor, if that makes sense. Like, he can call on you to do a number of things. Also, of course, he knows your big secret. By the way, at this point, we are going to have what I will refer to as a Game of Thrones twist. Hi. So what will happen is, for the record, those of you will see, Lord Gallo dispatches a runner just as he's stepping into the tent. He kind of ducks under the tent, and so he's hanging out with all of his Lord friendos. However, those of you in the triage tent, you will hear a number of boots on the ground.
Uh-oh.
As you look out, you'll see about 10 to 12 men who have longbows over their backs. They're not aimed at you at the moment. Very fine swords and mail, who are wearing Lord Gallo's symbol on their chests. One of them walks forward. He bows and he says, "Sir Daesip."
Side eyes to her brother.
Yes.
Lord Gallo has requested that we take your sister into our care. And yes, he says sister. Until such time as debts are paid.
The Lannisters always pay their debts. The Gallows always collect theirs.
I feel we can still say which one.
There's going to be a severe turning of the head so fast that you hear the bones crack.
Ah!
Baron? Baron? What's this about debts?
Baranon kind of strokes his stubble for a moment. Until said debts are paid.
Until your debt is paid. On at night.
Gallo knighted you? Oh shit, Gallo knighted you.
Yes. I thought I told you. His eyes kind of wander off to the kind of wander up to the right hand side of the ceiling. It's just like, huh. I never did.
Okay, brother. You have items from the manse?
No. Your brother owes Lord Gallo a very specific item. When that item is presented to Lord Gallo, he will be more than happy to have your sister repatriated.
More side-eyeing.
I assume they mean the Valerian axe.
Correct. He is not taking the risk that you will run away.
This is valid.
Baranon? Does he mean our...
Yes.
Is...
And it will be brought forward.
I think, in theory, madam, you mean Lord Gallo's, as it is now his. You're merely holding it for him.
Yes, his. My apologies, that's why second said.
Very good.
Isn't it?
They don't push past you, like, forcefully. They step past you. They walk straight into the triage room, and they take the stretcher.
I mean, there will be a lot of protesting because Ash is not aware of what's happening. He's like, what the fuck?
I emphasize Ash is bound by rope to the
yeah, it's not like I mean, there's protesting. There's not anything actually doing, but you know.
Ash, don't speak. Listen to them. Rest. We'll come get you.
What is going on?
What we owe Lord Gallo.
There's an incredibly foul look towards Baranon at this point.
You will be tended to until the axe is presented.
Your brother saved your life, and this is how you repay him. Well, I can see why it is you dress. This is a common soldier talking to her. I can see why it is you dress like a boy. You're not exactly pretty, are you?
Hey, brother's handsome as hell. That's it. Sarah will give Ash a thumbs up. Like, I helped you work on that.
Can Ash spit into his general direction?
You can. At which point, a male fist impacts her face.
God damn it.
Oh.
I'm not going to roll anything. It is going to be purely roleplay fluff, but holy shit, there is pain.
Oh, I mean, there's probably no longer any movement from Ash at that point, nor complaining. I can't imagine Ash is subconscious.
Sorry.
Ash sleeps the next 3 weeks, even after we get it.
I just sipped from a Rockstar and like I accidentally put a receipt in it. And when I wasn't concentrating, it was an empty can. I just got a mouthful of like a mixture of what I can only describe as like metallic like ink. I excuse me. I
think you may have to gargle and maybe purge your body.
Excuse me.
With that, they will take Lord Daesop away. Fun fact: when you return to the manse, because I'm going to assume you probably keep the Valyrian axe there somewhere. He's not going to check your rooms because that would be rude. He did not bring Lord Daesop back to his manse. They are somewhere else. And
probably on a wagon back to Castle Gallo.
Back to Casterly, yeah. And on that note, kids, we will end our scene. Thank you for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Shadow of the Iron Throne.